Well, hi, good morning, and thanks so much for joining me here in my shop today. I've got a couple ideas of what I'd like to do with this radio. But first, I'm going to spend a few minutes sharing something with you. You may not care about this, but I certainly do. And it's about the scourge that the whole world is facing right now, and positivity rate. If you're watching TV, listening to the news, you're hearing a lot of talk about positivity rate. It's being kicked around left and right, front and center. You're hearing things like 1%, 4%. We hope to have our positivity rate below 5%. I believe almost all those people, except for the experts, all those news people, all the people you hear talking about it, don't understand what it is. And there's a big misinterpretation going on. So I'm going to give you my interpretation of positivity rate and how I understand it. It all starts with thinking about a farmer. What? Yes. You go visit your farmer, your friendly farmer down the road, and he says, "Hey, can you help me out? I got a fish pond in the back of my farm. It's got a lot of fish in it. It's a pretty big pond, but I want to know how many fish are in there. So would you count them for me?" And you're going to say, "Well, how am I going to count those fish and find out what's in your pond?" Here's a net. Go fish them out. Fish them all out, and we'll count what you get. Then we'll know how many fish are in the pond. So you haven't got anything better to do, so off you go with your 2-foot square fish net. You find out it's a really big pond and there's a lot of fish in it, but you start. In goes the net, out comes 2 fish. In goes the net, out comes 3 fish. In goes the net, out comes 1 fish. And you're just doing that for quite a while, fishing with the net. Once in a while the net comes out empty. But that's okay, because you know there's a lot of fish in there, because almost every time you dip the net in, you get more fish. Around about noon, the picture has changed, though. After a couple hours of fishing out fish, the net is coming out empty more and more and more. It's getting to the point where half the time you put the net in and pull it out, there's nothing in it. Okay, so you keep going, and you keep going. And now you're down to the point where there's no fish coming out. You put the net in, and you're counting. 1, 2, 3, 4, no fish, no fish. 76, 77, 89. Here comes the farmer. The farmer says, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, I'm making sure there's no fish in the pond because I'm dipping the net in and I'm getting no fish." "How many times have you dipped the net in?" "Well, I just did 100 times. 100 times, eh? And how many did you find during that time?" "Nothing." So your rate at which you're finding fish is 0. 0%. No fish in 100 dips. The farmer would say, "Wow, I think you found all the fish in my pond." But then he might say, "But you know what? I don't really know for sure, because you've done 100. Maybe if you did another 100, you might find that last fish that's in there. How are we going to do this?" Okay, I'm going to flip this now to the COVID story. You're not fishing, you're taking COVID tests on people. It's not a pond, it's a city. And you're sticking your net in? No, you're taking a test. Along comes a senior politician and asks you how it's going. And you say, "Well, the last 100 tests I didn't detect anybody with COVID." He goes, "Your positivity rate for you is 0. But maybe somebody else doing testing also in the same community has done his 100 tests and found 2 people. Well, the positivity rate there would be 2%. Or between the 2 of them, doing 200 people finding 1, it's 1%. So what does this really tell you? This tells you how many fish are in the pond. Probably, roughly. Gives you some notion as to how many fish are in the pond. How many sick people are in your city. What if you did 1,000 COVID tests and not a single person came out sick? Your positivity rate would be 0, but there could still be sick people in the city. This is a real quandary. You see, the only way to really know is to test every last person. That's the only way to know. Positivity rate is a way you get a gauge on how many sick people are still out there when you're not testing everyone. And why you're not testing everyone? Well, it's quite a challenge, right? You have a city with 1 million people. You want to try to test them all? China tested everybody in a city of 10 million. They did it in 5 days. Why did they do that? Why did they do this huge effort? Because they want to know there's no fish in the pond at all. And the only way is to test everybody. It's the only way. So positivity rate is a measure of your testing program and nothing else. Positivity rate tells you if you're getting your arms around the problem and nothing else. A positivity rate of 0 when you're not testing the entire population doesn't prove anything. There you go. That's my talk about positivity rate. Now listen very carefully when they talk about it, because you know even a positivity rate of 0 doesn't guarantee anything. It's just a rough estimate. It's a rough measure which can be made. I mean, it'd be great to measure exactly who's sick, but in some locations that's too much. There just isn't enough testing to do it. Governments or whoever have not ramped it up to that point, except in China. How's China doing with COVID? China is the model. We should do what they do. Okay, enough of that. Wow, we got real speechy there, didn't I? Okay, just a minute while I take the soapbox aside here. Okay, I'm off the soapbox. So let's get back to the radio. What about this radio? So, magic eye, not changing much. AVC voltage, not changing much. Radio appears to be working fairly well at the same time. Everything seems to be aligned as best I could. Why is it like this? I don't know. I don't even have a really good guess at this point. So rather than pursue that problem directly, I'm going to pursue it indirectly and do a little experiment here to answer another question I have, which is, what's the big deal about putting the bottom plate on or not? So in the manual for this radio and for most radios, they will make a comment like, bottom plate must be in place during alignment, something like that. So obviously there's some influence between the big steel plate here and the coils that are inside the radio. To what degree though? So the impression I got just fiddling around here on my bench with the bottom plate on and bottom plate off is that with the plate off, the radio's alignment is way out. I find that a little bit surprising. I would think the bottom plate would have a minimal effect, like a 1 or 2% effect on things. So my intention is to find out, this is a great opportunity for me to do an experiment and find out with this particular radio how important it is or what the effect of the bottom plate is. And the way I'm going to do this is pretty simple. I'm going to tune this radio somewhere in the middle, let's say right there. I'll put it right on 11.8 on this band. Now I won't touch the pointer. I'll go band by band and find out what the radio's tuned to on each band for real. Gives me a chance to double check the alignment on the radio too. Then bottom plate's coming off because I need to take it off anyway. I'm going to be poking around underneath here. Bottom plate comes off. I repeat that study again, find out without moving the pointer what frequency is this radio tuned to on each band. Compare them and then we'll know the answer. We'll know the answer. We'll know the answer for this particular radio. That's what we'll know. So I hope my little COVID thing there is helpful to you. I'm trying to be helpful. I'm not trying to tell anybody how to think or what to think. I'm just trying to help people understand information as best I can in my own understanding of what is happening around us. So, okay. So this is a pretty simple thing. I'm just going to start up the radio here. See what frequency we're tuned to. Let me just change the lighting here very dramatically for me. Look at that beautiful eye in there. Fantastic. You have a full voltage. How did I manage to have such a bright eye? I have seen so many of these magic eyes in my shop, and this is the only one that's really like a brand new brightness. I'm very lucky to have it. That's not sounding too good. What is that? We'll be off to a bad start. So there's no antenna. I'm going to put the signal generator on. That's interesting. I happen to have this at 11.8. I just dialed this into 11.8 and bingo, there it is. Bottom plate on. That's reassuring. There. Okay, I need a piece of paper. Pen. So it's starting for some reason on the 25 meter band. We're dialed in at 11.8. Well, can't complain about that. And the generator is at 11.8. Okay, little band. So this looks, well, it doesn't even matter what it looks like. Well, I have to have some rough idea where I'm going here. $15,228, 15,2, 21, 22, 23, 24. Oh, 22, 22, 22. 15, 20, 21, 22. 2324, so it's actually 1524. That's right. 1524. But we're actually sending it. Wait a minute. 1524, but what it's actually is 1522. 1522. Okay. This guy here, 9. So that's an image reception. 10.4, we're down to 9.5. Nine, 5, 5, 6, and we're dialed into, that's 5.0, 5.1, 5.2, 5.5, 5.5. Very, very close. The actual dial setting is 9.5, 9.555, and the actual, it's exactly that, 955. Yeah, it's exactly dead on. Oh, that's very good. Okay, next one. A little bit below 10. See how much weaker it is too? This is interesting. So this band's coming out of 9.711. This is a little tough to be precise here. 9 and 10. 9. So that's 2, 4, 6. It'd be like just below 8, 9.8. So we'd say on the dial it's 9.750, and actual is 9.711. This one here, right on 900. Some interesting stuff coming in there. Funny times. Really can't complain about that either. 900. 900. Okay, so actually alignments come out really quite good. Maybe the C band here. This band, which seemed to come up a little bit weak, seems to be a little off. And this is a critical band because aligning this band affects all the rest, except the broadcast band. So I understand. Now we're going to get the bottom plate off, and then I screwed it on here. We got a terrible gray rainy day, another one. Typical fall weather here. Cold, yep. Okay, the plate should come off. Okay. What is the truth here? Oh, I had the AVC meter. I could have been using the AVC meter during this, but that's okay. Yeah, it's okay. Well, we're coming right up where we started. 900 on the broadcast band. Slightly lower, maybe, but not much. Not enough to be concerned about. Okay, next band, and we want to dial in around 9.7, 9.657. Oh, 9.657. So we're tuned to 9.750. The last time we got 9.711. 9.6. Wow. Okay. That's quite a difference there. 9.657. Okay, next band. Now this happens to be tuned almost the same place. 9.555. Nope, it's different. 9.530. Oh, I'm filled with regret. Having in the past not taken this quite so seriously. 11.8. Seven 738. And the last band. $15,175. Hey, oh yeah, $15,175. Here it is. Okay, some numbers to look at now. So this is what the dial was set to. This is what the generator resolved. This is what the generator resolved with the plate off. So plate on, plate off. Plate on, 11.8 is correct. Plate off, it's down 65 or about 60 kilocycles. 60. What's that look like on the dial here? So we're on the 11. So 60 would be 0.06. 0.06. About that much out. About that far. It's way out. Way out on here. So on the 19 meter band, we go from 2.2 to 175, dropping down. On the this band, dropping down about just a little bit. This band dropping down again. So you take the plate off and everything shifts to the left on the radio. In the broadcast band, no real change. Hard to say for sure. So yeah, dramatic effect from having the plate off. Okay, so there's a lesson I should have learned a long time ago. I mean, I've always known about the sensitivity. I've just never really investigated it for real. Now it's real. Well, now I'm stuck with the problem of the low AVC. So, working on this band with the radio tuned in right now, I have a loose coupled antenna just clipped on the insulation of this wire here. Fairly strong signal coming out of the signal generator. Let's turn on this meter. Okay, AVC meter. So this is on the 15 volt scale. So this is all of a couple volts here, not much. And we're thinking, according to the tube manual, these tubes could be looking for 10, 15, 20, even more voltage. So something else I've noticed about this radio and a lot of radios. Do you hear a hiss right now? If you do, it's probably the fan motors on my computer. If I tune in the station, the signal, a bunch of noise comes through with it. So that has me wondering what's going on. So I'm going to hit this with a harder signal here. Okay, that's a lot stronger. So now we're getting an AVC voltage up around 8 or 9 volts. You can see the eye now. Let me see if I can make it visible here. Very hard to see. Especially with a pointer swinging right in front of it. So about 40% of its range, of its closing range, is moving. I think this signal represents the strongest thing you'd ever get on an antenna. Let's get it even stronger here. I'll make a direct connection right here. Okay, you can see the AVC voltage now. We're gonna crank this guy. Just tune this in. Okay. So that's a very strong signal being sent into the antenna, as strong as anything you'd ever pick up on an antenna. And you're getting 8 volts. Now I'm going to increase it by a factor of 10. The eye is about half closed here. This is a stupidly strong signal. This has gone up a couple volts. And the eye is just closed a wee bit more. Okay, it tells me everything's working. It just seems to be kind of on the weak side of things. just listen to the volume change in the tone. And I just took 100, I just reduced the signal by a factor of 100. Yet the tone doesn't sound that much different. It sort of suggests the AVC is doing its job. Let's go even weaker here. So that's it. That's another 10 down. So now we're 1,000 down from where we started. You can still hear it very similarly. A little more hiss. It's like it's working. And I'm chasing ghosts here. I am chasing nothing. Now, yesterday I was listening to Shortwave around about 7 o'clock in the evening, and the 31 meter band was just hopping. Lots of stuff to hear. The day before there was nothing, to the point where I spent some time yesterday checking my antennas outdoor to make sure they were still connected. I actually did that. Yes, they're all in good shape. So now bottom plate is off, so the, you know what, this is not good to do with the bottom plate off. The radio's no longer aligned correctly. Let me think now. Put the plate back on. What am I trying to achieve here? Oh my gosh, I'm totally lost. I think what I need to do is a proper listening test again on it. And then I think that, you know, there's a chance it's the C band is not aligned properly. And then that's affecting all the rest a little bit. So the whole thing's up for question. Let me put that bottom plate back on here. Not do it with the radio switched on. You'd be wise to step back. Up. Okay, that was pretty easy. Wow, how come that went so easily? There we go. I want to just put at least one screw in. It's making pretty good contact, as it is. It just fell right in there. Okay. Switch back on. Good. Antenna. What did I do with it? There it is. And I'm going to have to go check an antenna switch while this warms up. It's a signal generator. Well, not picking anything up. I don't have the antenna switched onto it, so I shouldn't be too surprised. So I'm running to throw a little switch. Okay. Get quieter. Nobody. Yeah, that's pretty good eye action on that. So we can also just keep an eye on the meter, really. Wow, okay, so I'm trying to... What is that we're listening to? I think it's African music. I was listening to Chad last night, but not broadcast from Chad. Chad is a Central African country. It's actually broadcast from out of Britain, from their Wooferton site. So I guess some time sharing sort of thing going on there. Music was very similar to that. Oh, my clock's a little out. And they just went off the air, I think, right at that moment. So what we're listening to has a very swooshy, fading sound to it to me. Chinese, I think. The swooshy sound, when I hear a station, it's not just fading in and out, it's got this swooshy, swirling sort of sound to it. I imagine that the signal is getting here by going over the North Pole through the various atmospheric whatevers that are going on up there, and that's what I always imagine when I hear that swirly sound. Okay, next band. I mean, that's pretty good for this time of day. Now this is the band that was just hopping last night.
Or any of the other associated material. Very quickly, my father was from the War, returned from the Korean War. My family had essentially settled the small Arizona town of El Mirage. Does anybody know where that town is?
No.
It's just across the Albufria riverbed.
I didn't really even, I don't care where your town is. How rude I can be to people on the radio. I guess that means you guys can be rude to me. You can be rude to me. It won't hurt me at all. Just don't make comments. What's rolling around in my head here is, am I done with this radio? That's actually where. Look at this. Oh, I gotta turn this all the way up on this band. That's pretty interesting. This is 15, probably 15770. That's it. I think there's a strong station there. It's out of the range of the regular band up here. No AVC. I'm watching this very carefully to see if it moves. I mean, make it more sensitive. 1.5 volts now, full scale. I mean, it sounds like a strong signal, doesn't it? They put it back on the same scale we were using, so I get a right perspective. The other bands, this was, floating here and going as high as 8. Almost nothing here. How can that really happen? It's just, and the volume was turned right up. That's part of the picture. It's extremely weak on this band. That's what this is telling me. Nowhere do you hear the the atmospheric noise, the hiss of the atmosphere, There's that whopper of a station, so let's check that one. Tiny voltage developing here. Tiny. So I think part of the problem is I was doing some of my testing on this band without realizing this band is still way out from where it should be, at least sensitivity wise. And that's going to give me the low response or low response enough to make me think something's wrong. And I go off hunting for it, and here I am now thinking there's not something wrong with the whole radio. It just comes down to this band again.
Drilling equipment that they were aware of, which would have cracked the rock and caused the water to be dispelled. My father said these holes looked almost as if a giant white hot ball had just pushed down into the earth. You can't see that from that old picture because it was crumpled and I straightened it out, and it has actually distorted how perfectly cylindrical these holes were. Now I'm telling you that to tell you this, that the Army Corps of Engineers couldn't figure it out. The Indians who lived in Arizona in that area weren't even aware of the holes, which indicated these things had appeared almost overnight. There was no road in this area. There was no way to get equipment up there which would have been able to produce these giant holes in the ground. And the Phoenix Gazette went out and took pictures of my father with his 30-06 rifle, which he had been deer hunting with, kneeling down beside these holes, and they ran an article called Mysterious Mountain Holes. Nobody gives any explanation after the hubbub in the newspaper. And that would have been the end of the story, except that on November 5, 1975, a man by the name of Travis Walton was with a group of people.
Travis Walton. Oh, I know what this is.
Some work for the local government up there where they were clearing some of the trees. They were doing logging and had a local contract.
Okay, we won't listen to any further. Travis Walton is a famous UFO story of contact with visitors from space and stuff like that. And it's one of the more interesting stories. If you don't know it, you could check it out. And I guess what this guy's saying is there's more to the story, that sometime previous to the event that has been so well, there's a movie about it and everything, something happened before that involving holes in the ground. Okay, who knows? The world is full of mysteries. Thank God for that. Thank God for the mysteries. Well, now I'm stuck having to think again about this radio and the alignment of this band. Could it be that because I haven't got this guy right, all the rest are weakened, even though they're stronger? They're still not as strong as they could be because I haven't got this one right. How wrong is it? Bottom plate's on. Where's my chart? So when I check this, you know what? It was out. It was out, even with the plate on. So I'll put this right on 10. Okay, that's right on 10. Wait a minute. Yeah, 10. We're listening on and then 10. Ooh, what was that sound? Hmm. 10. Well, that's 10. Maybe I'm done. Maybe I'm done with this guy. Well, I have to think very hard if that's where I'm at with it. Full volume to get anything out of this band. I'm not done with it. We have to pursue, I pursued this band and determined it was alignment. But now it's this band that's weak. It's probably just more alignment stuff. Yeah. Well, that was kind of a nothing session here, but I think I know what I need to do. I need to do another alignment on this radio to ensure I've got it correct. Wow. Well, thanks a lot for watching. Sorry, a bit of a runaround, but that's, these are, you must realize these are live videos. I don't have any real control over what happens to me in this shop. That's what it amounts to. So thanks a lot for watching, and we'll see what happens tomorrow.